In this video, we'll share the top tips for working with TimberTech Decking. To begin, let's go over the top 5 things you need to know. These following items are critical to the appearance and performance of TimberTech decking products. A properly installed and stable foundation or footing system that is below frost line and meets local code and loading requirements. The framing must be attached securely to the properly installed and stable foundation or footing system. All framing members must be in plane across tops, and solid blocking must be installed between each joist, in rows 4 to 6 feet apart, using quality exterior screws prior to installing deck boards. Properly fastened decking using best practices per installation instructions is critical to aesthetics, performance, and minimizing expansion or contraction of decking. Do not use TimberTech deck as a work surface. Protect the surface of deck during construction and be sure to properly clean upon completion. The footing type used must be suitable and approved for your specific design, frost depth, loading requirement, and area or local codes. Options for footers include concrete, helical piers, and alternate piers. Traditionally used concrete footings require mixing and pouring of concrete and need several hours for setup prior to construction of deck framing. Helical or alternative type pier footings usually require specific equipment or tools to install, but construction of framing can begin immediately. If alternate footers are desired, contact the manufacturer with any questions, and in some cases, the manufacturer can even supply local installation contractors. There are many styles and designs for footer to framing attachment hardware. Before selecting a style of framing attachment, consider these questions as they relate to your project. Are J-bolts pre-cast in place? Do you need an attachment to existing or pre-cured concrete? Is attachment to helical or other alternative type piers needed? Whatever attachment method is used, the key is to ensure that a solid connection is made between the deck frame and the footing which was used. In order to avoid substandard results for your decking project, follow these framing best practices. All framing members must be in plane across the tops. Use string lines frequently in multiple locations along the framing surface to ensure the joists and framing are in plane across the tops. Power plane or shim of joists may be necessary to ensure joists are in plane across the tops. TimberTech decking products are rated for 16 inches on center joist span. However, especially for TimberTech advanced PVC decking, consider 12-inch on center span for a more rigid feel. Install solid blocking every 4 to 6 feet maximum throughout the deck using exterior grade screws. For best results, use kiln-dried pressure-treated lumber or dried exterior-grade lumber to minimize movement and twisting of framing material over time. In this section, we'll share some top tips for working with AZEK Advanced PVC Decking. Be aware of board temperatures. In order to minimize gapping between board ends, keep boards cool during storage and out of sun at time of fastening. If a board is fastened when heated or at any time in full sun, it will contract when cooled, exposing larger gaps at butt joints and board ends. Follow board placement guidelines. While spacing between boards should be 1/8 inch to 1/4 inch, the spacing at butt joints, miters, and splices should always be tight with TimberTech Advanced PVC Decking. Do not leave a gap on any end joints. A high-quality top-down fastener, such as our stainless steel top-lock color-matched screws or Cortex screws with color-matched plugs, can be used to best minimize gapping from expansion and contraction. Top-down fastening is recommended for best results. No pre-drilling required for TimberTech Advanced PVC Decking. Drive fasteners perpendicular and flush with the board surface. Fasteners should be driven a minimum of 1 1/4 inch into the joist. However, if using Cortex screws and plugs, the screw will be countersunk at proper depth to allow for plug insertion. Always have fasteners within 1/2 of an inch of board ends and 3/4 of an inch from board edges for TimberTech Advanced PVC Decking. Fasten the board with 2 screws at each joist, no more than 16 inches apart for a best result. results. In this section, we'll share some top tips for working with TimberTech composite decking. When fastening TimberTech composite decking, only use TimberTech approved fasteners to ensure best results. Face fasteners, such as Top Lock and Cortex, must be located no closer than 3/4 of an inch from board ends and edges. 2 fasteners are required at each joist location. All butt joints require blocking or double joists, with all fastener options for TimberTech composite decking. Pre-drilling using 7/32 inch bit is required at all fastener locations when installing Cortex in TimberTech composite decking, and only required when within 1.5 inch of the plank ends when installing with Top Lock. When temperatures are below 45 degrees Fahrenheit, pre-drilling is required at all fastener locations. When fastening boards, use 1/8 inch to 3/16 inch spacing between boards' edges and apply the appropriate gapping to joints based on the temperature at the time of installation for TimberTech composite decking. Install 1 conceal lock clip at each joist, except at butt joints where 4 clips must be used. In this section, we'll share some care and cleaning tips to keep your TimberTech decking looking its best for as long as possible. Do not use TimberTech deck as a work surface. Protect the deck if additional work is being done on or near the deck surface. Do not drag or slide anything with force across the deck boards as it may damage the surface. Care should be taken to protect the surface of the deck during construction. Knee pads and work boot soles can leave marks on deck surface. Using boot coverings and moving with caution can ensure the surface stays clean of marks and scuffs. Be sure to clean the deck surface properly upon completion and consistently as needed in the future. Use TimberTech Deck Cleaner and pair with a stiff natural fiber brush for TimberTech Advanced PVC deck boards, or a medium stiff nylon brush for TimberTech composite boards. Follow directions in the TimberTech Care and Cleaning Guide to properly clean the deck surface. Work in small, manageable areas. Scrub with and against the grain direction. Thoroughly rinse cleaner residue from deck surface. Do not allow cleaner to dry or evaporate on the deck surface before rinsing. Let's review these top tips one last time. A solid and stable foundation or footing system must be installed to provide optimal performance. Ensure secure attachment of framing to footer. The framing substructure must be constructed so that all joists, blocking, and other framing members are in plane across the tops. Solid blocking must be installed to prevent independent movement of joists and framing members. TimberTech offers several fastening options for decking. Consider choosing a fastener that securely connects deck boards to frame and best minimizes gaps or movement that could occur due to thermal expansion or contraction. Best practice is to install TimberTech decking after surrounding construction is complete. If other work around the deck needs to be performed, cover and protect the deck boards. Perform a proper cleaning on the deck surface after project completion and regularly as needed. Before installation begins, remember to review the full TimberTech Deck installation guides, installation PDF, and videos found at TimberTech.com. You can also find detailed care instructions in the appropriate installation guides. These top tips are best practices for TimberTech Advanced PVC and composite decking, and a great place to start before installing the products. More detailed installation documents can be found on www.timbertech.com.